Good morning. Good morning, Rabotai. Welcome to Breakfast in the Class. Breakfast in the Class today is sponsored and dedicated for the Refuah Shlema for Eliyahu Shlomo Mazal Fortuné and for the continued health of Chana Bat Simafega. As well, the learning for this week is dedicated by the Daniel S. Loeb Torah Center. Silver donors, Philippe Alouche, in loving memory l'nishmat of his parents Yehuda ben Leoni and Haya Josette Bat Louise. Zichronam Levracha. If you'd like to become silver, gold, diamond level donor of the Torah Center, please let us know on info@ejsny.org. Also, the year of Breakfast in the Class dedicated in loving memory and Lilu Nishmat Ruth Orfali Bat Adela Alea Shalom, sponsored by her family. Also dedicated in loving memory of Esther Adis, Lilu Nishmat Esther Bat Selma on her yahrzeit, sponsored by her son Billy Adis. My friends, last but not least, I'd like to dedicate today's class in honor of all of the Misayimim, all those that finished the Masechet with Rabbi Friedman on Thursday night. They made a big siyum, and they're going to be starting a new Masechet Shabbat, every morning, 6:45 with Rabbi Friedman. He's a big tzaddik, tremendous person of impeccable character, tremendous Talmid Chacham. We have an honor to have him with us in the Beit Knesset. So you want to learn Masechet Shabbat? They're starting this week, 6:45 a.m. every day. Also in dedication and in honor of all of my guys who finished Masechet Makot with me. I'm really proud of you. You stuck through it. We are zocheh now to finish our third Masechet on a roll. Baruch Hashem. We finished Masechet Makot, and we're doing the siyum today in reserve cut. Yishtabach Shemo. All right. So guys, get your mortgages ready. We're going all out, right? And Be'ezrat Hashem, it should be a beautiful siyum. For anyone that would like to join us, you don't have to have any previous background in order to be able to join. In fact, some of the Misayimim are here with us today. They never learned Gemara before we started the Masechet. And now, how many did you finish, Avi? You did 2 with us or 3? 3 already with us. Yishtabach Shemo. But before he started, he never did it before. Jack, Manu, Azaku Baruch, Morris Misri, Stanley Chira, Ray Chira, unbelievable. All the boys that wind up that have joined. But I want to add as well, Avi and Moshe Brody, people that drive in to join the class, people that have never been to a class live, by the way, but never missed a class. Unbelievable. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we have a beautiful people, a group of Misayimim tonight. We ask if anyone would like to join with us on this new journey. We have as well 2 Silvera boys who've jumped on the wagon, who are stalwart attenders of the Siyum. Yishtabach Shemo. Hashem should bless them. Aris Inshallah. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should see only beracha for all of the Misayimim. If you want to join us, Sunday morning 10:15, Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30. Okay? So it's very doable, manageable. On Sunday, it's always about 45 minutes. So on a regular weeknight, if you come 6:30, you're out by 7:15. You can still do your dinner plans, no problem. Okay? That is my pitch. Let's begin. Sunday morning, 10:15 to 11. Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30 to 7:15. When Mincha gets early, we take it right before Mincha. So that's the gas. All right? Let's get cracking. Our parasha begins with the words, Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav. And Yaakov sent angels before him. So, it's always interesting. There's something in the Gemara called Girsa. Who said it? Who said it? You said it? Someone said it. Girsa? There we go, there it was. I know I heard it. Girsa Diankuta, what does that mean? Girsa Diankuta means the language of your youth, of your childhood. All right? Like Yenuka. So when a person learns something when they're a child, it's part of their baseline programming. Okay? It's something which is imbued to them. I'm 46 years old, soon to be 47. Okay? And still today, when I read these words, I can't help myself but not sing them with the ta'amim, but sing them with the tune of Uncle Moshe. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav, and Yaakov sent messengers to Esav, because Esav was coming with 400 men. Yeah, I'm 47 years old. I can't get rid of it. Girsa Diankuta. This is to teach you the importance of cramming your child when he's young with as much Torah knowledge, halakha, as possible. Not against his will, not something he doesn't want. But the more they learn, when it becomes what they call the mama lashon, the language of their mother tongue, the more it's part of their baseline programming. It sticks with them forever. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav. Yaakov sends messengers. Now, why is he sending messengers? Anyone remember the backstory? Backstory goes like this. Esav wants to kill Yaakov. Yaakov runs away. In the interim, Yaakov, in his little house on the prairie, builds a beautiful family, right? His wives, his children, his wealth, and now he decides he's going to come back home. What does he have waiting for him? Esav, who ostensibly still wants to kill him. Right? Yitzchak is not yet dead. What did Esav say? Let the avelut of my father begin. As soon as my father dies, I'm going to kill him. Esav was long-term planning to kill Yaakov. So Yaakov understands that Esav's coming. His scouts tell him, not only is he coming, but he's coming with 400 warriors. Against who? Against Yaakov and a bunch of children. Yaakov sends messengers to Esav with a message, with a gift, telling him, listen, I'm coming, I'm your servant, I only want peace with you, etc., etc. Let me read to you the strange words of the Midrash on this pasuk of Yaakov sending peace messengers. Rav Huna began, says the Midrash, Machzik be'ozne kelev, when you grab onto the ears of a dog, ober mitaber al riv lo. You're getting involved in a fight that you don't want, in a fight that's not yours. That's what the Midrash says. Shmuel bar Nachman Omer, Rav Shmuel bar Nachman used to say, you know what this could be compared to? A guy who's walking along the road and he sees at the fork in the road, there's bandits sleeping on the ground. How does he know they're bandits? I don't know. Maybe they have an eye patch, peg leg. Maybe one of them's got with a parrot on his shoulder. I don't know. Okay? He sees they're bandits. What does he do? He runs up to the bandits. He wakes them up. He says, what are you doing sleeping here? Don't you know there's bandits here? The guy says, I'm a bandit. He mugs him on the spot, pulls out his gun. Give me all your money. Guy's crying. He's kvetching. The guy says, moron, I was sleeping. You woke me up. Now you're crying that I'm robbing you. If you didn't wake him up, it wouldn't have been a problem. Says the Midrash, so too. Kach amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So did God say to Yaakov, Lidarcho haya me'alech. Esav was going on his way. Ve'ata mishalech etzlo. And you're sending messages to him to tell him, so says your servant Yaakov. You're bowing to him. You're giving in already. Wild. The question is, the Midrash continues with a similar expression. But the question is, what's the Midrash saying? Yaakov got involved in a fight that wasn't his? Whose fight is this? Esav is going on his way? What do you mean? He's traveling with 400 warriors. Where's he going? Bermuda, Jamaica. Where's he going? He's going on a warrior vacation. What is this? He just wants pina coladas on the beach. He's traveling with warriors because he's going to war. Who's he going to war against? Yaakov. So in what way is Yaakov considered to be waking up a sleeping bandit? In what way is Yaakov grabbing the ears of a dog where he's now going to get bitten, where he shouldn't have been about? What's the Midrash saying? So I want to share with you a magnificent answer. So the Sefer Osrot HaTorah, he says as follows. He answers the Midrash with another Midrash. Let me share with you the Midrash, and we're going to see a beautiful lesson for all of us as well. The Midrash says, Hapishtani hazeh, you had a guy who's traveling with camels loaded high with flax. Nichnesu gemalav teunim bepishtan. His camels, filled with flax to the skies, started entering into the store of a blacksmith. Hapechami, the blacksmith, Tama, he wonders, Ana yikanes kol hapishtan hazeh. This camel is now coming into my shop with so much flax. There's no room, it's a tiny shop. How's it going to all come in here? Haya pikach echad, there was a wise man, Meshiv lo, he answered him, Nitzotz achad, yotzeh mi'amapoach shelcha. All you need is one spark from your anvil. You're sitting there banging the sword. One spark from your anvil goes onto this flax, onto the pishtan. It's extremely flammable. V'sorefet kulo, burns all of it. Kach Yaakov, so to Yaakov, ra'a kol ha'alufim. He saw that Esav had given birth to many tribal chiefs, to many leaders, to many generals. Haktuvim lemala, aluf Esav, aluf Kenaz, aluf Teman. Tama ve'amar, he said, Mi yachol lichbosh et kulam. How am I going to return to Israel? I can't ever conquer all these warriors, all these chieftains. Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Me'elu ata mityareh, you're worried about these. Getz echad mishelcha, vegetz echad mishel banecha. A spark from you, and a spark from your child. Ve'atem sorfim otam, and you'll burn them all. Shneimar, like it says, Ve'haya bet Yaakov esh, the house of Jacob will be like a fire. Ubet Yosef le'ava, and the house of Joseph like a flame. Between you and Yosef, now that Yosef is born, you have no problems. Ubet Esav, what will Bet Esav be compared to? Lekash, to straw. You have nothing to worry about. So the Sefer Otzrot HaParasha asks, Etzrot HaTorah, he says, I don't understand. The guy is worried, he's asking the blacksmith, how is the guy, the camel, going to get in here with all of its flax? What's the answer, says the wise guy? What are you worried about? One spark, and it burns everything. What kind of advice is that? That's a smart advice? Imagine I ask you, he says, I have furniture. I got to get the furniture up to my apartment. But the couch is too long. It's not going to get up the stairs. Pivot. It's not going to make the turn up the stairs. I have a giant mattress. It doesn't fit in the elevator. How am I going to get upstairs? Comes the wise man, he says, listen, I have a fantastic idea. Let's light it all on fire. And then everything will get up perfectly. Grind it to smithereens, and we'll take it up in plastic bags. What kind of answer is that? Answers the Otzrot HaTorah. We're looking at it wrong. This blacksmith, he didn't want the guy in his store. His question wasn't, how am I going to fit all this guy in the store? He's saying, they're coming into my store. I'm backing up now against the back of my shop. What's in the back of his shop? The fire. They're closing in on me. There's no room here. How am I going to get out of this situation? So one way is you go and you start pushing the camel. A human being against the camel's going to win. Says the wise guy, what are you doing? Don't engage the camel. Don't fight with the animal. Don't grab the ears of the dog. You continue doing you. Just keep smacking the sword. Imagine the guy not even here. You know what's going to happen? Sparks will fly. 10 seconds from now, your whole problem gone. And what did you have to do in order to get rid of your problem? Nothing. You just needed to keep doing you. Now we understand what the Midrash is telling us about the blacksmith. Let's go back now to the first Midrash. God is saying to Yaakov, it's not that I don't think this fight is your fight. Of course it's your fight. But how does Yaakov respond to a fight? What are you running after him to engage him for? You continue doing you. You yourself, Yaakov, is Esh. Bet Yosef is Le'ava. Bet Esav is Kash. So what are you going to do? You're going to go towards him and engage him in a field of battle using tools that you know he was blessed with and you were not. Yedayim Yedei Esav. You're going to forget your strength of Kol Yaakov. That's Mejnun. My friends, what God was saying to Yaakov Avinu is, if Esav comes to you with a fight, I understand. Do everything you can. Fight him in the streets, in the fields, everywhere, But he's not here. You're sending messages to him? You're engaging with him? What are you doing? You just keep doing what you're supposed to do. Study Torah, do your tefillah, be you. When something comes, we'll have a different strategy. But don't invite problems in that don't exist yet. A lot of people, in the way that they look at their problems in this life, they're trying to figure out how to solve problems. But they're so preemptively solving problems that they're not solving problems. They're creating them. You go to Esav and you tell Esav, because you're afraid of something that might happen. I'm your servant, I love you, take what you want. What are you doing? My friends, in our marriages, with our children, with our friendships, with our parnasah, what we're learning over here is don't start. Especially when your strength is not in the thing you're starting with. When you doing you is perfect. You don't need to change what I'm doing. If that's the case, then a person can achieve tremendous things. I want to share with you a fascinating example of this that has both an astounding and a tragic ending. Rav David Povarsky remembers a terrible story that happened in the yeshiva of Novarac. At the time, the Communist Party decided that they were going to hold an office right opposite where the yeshiva was. Now, under communism, learning Torah was punishable under pain of death. So they asked him, what should we do? Should we close the yeshiva? They're coming here for this meeting. Do we shut down? What do we do? Rabbi said, no, we study Torah. We do us. No one said anything. Nothing changed since yesterday. This is what we're going to do. And he says, and I promise, anyone that studies Torah properly, anyone that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, anyone that's kol Yaakobing, they will be fine. The boys hear the words of the rabbi, no problem. They go to yeshiva. And they're sitting there learning like it's a regular day. You have to understand the nature of what this yeshiva was like. Novarac and Slobodka were two fascinating examples. And in many ways, they're great psychological case studies for a yeshiva that produces a certain type of person. Novarac, their aim was to work on people who were completely filled with a sense of humility. They created the most humble people in the Jewish people. That's what they did. They burned it into the children, into the students. Anyone that came from there, you knew he was going to be the most humble rabbi. In Slobodka, on the other hand, they felt that their job was to build students that were of extreme power and confidence. Not arrogant, but confident. So your Slobodka boy walking down the road was walking unafraid of anything. The Novarac boy was walking down the road, the most humble. They were able to create a template, if you will, to channel the strengths or the challenges of their students in a specific way. We don't have that anymore. It's a very different world, the world that we live in today. Either way, people don't know themselves to be able to know which place to go to. So it would fail because you'd have people thinking out of arrogance that they should go to the place of humility. You understand? That's how crazy we are today. Either way, the rabbi says they all go, they're learning like maniacs. They're in there, the Gemara, Abaye, Rava, Shmuel, this, that, back, forth. As they come in, the army officers of the Communist Party, they see there's a place right across, they're checking it for security. They look up, they see it's a yeshiva. They're like, fantastic. They put their guns on, they walk upstairs, they walk into the yeshiva ready to kill all these Jews that are studying Torah, that are breaking the law. They walk to the Bet Midrash, they'd never seen anything like this in their life. Had that screaming at the other guy singing. They're looking around, they see books all over the walls. Looks like a library. One of the soldiers turns to the other, he says, we can't kill these guys. This is an insane asylum. Everyone's screaming. They're protected under international law. We kill these guys, crimes against humanity. Right? They didn't know that no one would say anything because their name is not Israel. But either way, they think that we got to leave these guys alone. So they walk out, they don't touch a single kid. Meanwhile, there were 2 boys out of the whole yeshiva that when they saw the soldiers, shut their gemaras and ran to hide in the dormitory. As the soldiers are coming out, one of them says to the other, maybe we should go. I see over there's another building. It looks more like residential. Maybe that's the dormitory. Maybe the normal boys are there. Anyway, they're walking towards them. They see these 2 boys. And Yemach Shemam, these soldiers, they killed the 2 students. The only 2 students that died were the ones that ran away. Yaini. I want you to understand, this is the depth of what the Midrash is saying. When a person is doing the right thing, when they're studying Torah, when they're praying tefillah, when they're giving tzedakah, when they're working on their midot, they become a person that has a force field around them. And when someone's trying to fight with them, in the eyes of the Torah and the eyes of God, what that's called? That guy don't have a fight with you. Why are you starting up with, there's no issue here. He may think he's at war with you, but he don't realize that he's at war with God. The only way he's in a fight with you is if you step outside and run towards him. My friends, this is not only about war. It's about many things. A person is doing the right thing with his children and raising his kids. And it's not out of arrogance and it's not out of anger, but he's setting the boundaries and he's showing them tremendous love. And all of a sudden, there's a battle he's having. And he's thinking to himself, you know what, maybe I should just go the exact opposite route. I should let him do whatever he wants. My friends, you're leaving your lane. Your lane is to be a responsible parent, is to be a parent that leads with values and ideals. That's who you are. For you to not be you for this kid is not correct. Now you're fighting in a battle that you have no space, you have no expertise fighting it. You're trying to fight the battle being his best friend, not his dad. That's not your fight. Find your lane and stay in it. My friends, I find that this idea is true on so many levels. The world of jealousy is inhabited by this question. You want to deal with the problem? Or I think maybe better advice would be not to let the problem in the first place. I want to give you an example of what this means. The other day, I was traveling to the airport. And I noticed something that I think is maybe a little interesting. I noticed that there's tremendous amount of security. Where's all the security? At the airport. Right at that line. checkpoint, right? That's where all the security is. After you go in the airport, you barely see anything. Nachon? So I was thinking, it's so interesting from a security perspective. Because actually, if you're here to protect the people, do you know where the largest amount of people are gathered? Outside security. So at the check-in point, where you have lines of people like this, waiting to go to the desk to get checked in, before they hit the security checkpoint, if Barminan someone got in, he could encounter more people before security than he can encounter on any one of the planes you're so desperately trying to protect. Has anyone ever thought of that? We should have all that security at the front door of the airport. My friends, now you're going to have some guy call me and say, actually I'm from the Israeli army. Your understanding of security is flawed. Let me tell you why that's what I'm going to get. I'm sure, but look at the mashal for a minute. I'm not advocating for change. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if our goal is to protect people, we've not created a system which actually is protecting a huge amount of people on any given day. Because anyone can walk in. By the way, if you go to Israel, you'll see that at every door point, before you get in, even to wait online, they have a thing and a guy and sometimes with a dog. And before you drove in with your car, you were met by soldiers. Israel has it right. My friends, here's my question. When it comes to the many battles you're going to fight in this life, the easiest way to fight the battle is not to be in it. It's so interesting what's going on today in Syria. As of today, the Assad regime is done. Yeah? 20 years, 24 years for him, 50 years for the family, right? Fascinating. Done. So you look at what it took for us to get Nasrallah and what it took for us to get Sinwar, right? These are leaders put in place by Iran. Assad is exactly the same. How many times have we bombed Syria to stop Iranian arms getting through Syria to us? The T4 airport, right? What did we need to do in order to win that war? Nothing. Now, what will be with these new factions? Nobody has any idea. Because the factions themselves, every one of them has a different flag. So we don't know what's going to be. But reading this morning to me was such a sense of calm for me. Let them do whatever they're doing to each other. What are we going to get involved for? Donald Trump said, why are we sending American soldiers there? No, thank you. Russia put their hands up. Iran put their hands up because they're busy with other things. Whatever it is, let it play out. It's their thing, not ours. What will we do when it's our thing? We'll figure it out then. But the idea of putting people into a fight that's not yours, remarkable. My friends, there are battles in this life that you have to fight, and there are battles that you don't. Don't go chasing battles. Don't go chasing fights. Don't stick your nose or your thing. Say, listen, I love when people say, listen, I don't feel like I should be involved, but stop with the but, put a period, and walk away. Really, it's none of my business. Correct. See you later. Alamak. How do you start a sentence of getting involved with, really, it's none of my business? People speak Lashon Hara. All of a sudden, you're getting involved on who's right, who's wrong, taking sides. Sorry, why are you here? Two siblings are fighting. Everyone in the family needs to take a side. Why? Why do they need to take a side? They're fighting it out. This is not your battle. Don't we have enough going on in our own lives? We don't need anyone else's problems. The lesson over here is, you have a problem. It's brewing. Okay. When it's my problem, I'll deal with it. Don't start. You're fighting a fight, it's not yours. But my friends, I think the added lesson, and this is so powerful and so short and concise, the added lesson is, you know where we would do much better? You know where our investments would be much better achieved? Is in ensuring that before the problem comes to me, I deal with the problem proactively by not getting involved. Do you hear what I'm saying? Exactly the opposite. Instead of proactively getting involved, I proactively not get involved. But I proactively not get involved in a way where I'm making sure this never comes my way. Israel right now is setting down a buffer zone. I don't want this. I don't want no piece of this. But we're proactively ensuring it doesn't come my way. How many of us pray our hearts out when we have a problem? Wouldn't it be better to pray your heart out before you had a problem that you shouldn't have problems? Who has a lot of kavanah in Rifai and heal us? Only people with sick relatives or a guy who has a sickness. What do you got to wait till then for? In your lane, send sparks. Burn anything that's coming your way, but from your lane. Things are good. Now is the time. Everyone is giving tzedakah. Tatzil mimavet. When are they giving big tzedakah? When they're down against the ropes. When they're in the bottom of a pit and it's very hard to climb out. Everything's good. Double down on your tzedakah now. So it should stay that way. Things are, I don't know, Rabbi, I never had a period like this in my life where everything was just flowing. Everyone is worried about giving ayin hara. Forget ayin hara for a second. Build walls. Now, double down on your tefillah. Double down on your tzedakah. You know why? Because God says, oh, you're not learning? You're not praying? You're not giving tzedakah? I need to wake you up a little. Shakes you. I don't need no shakes, thank you very much. God, you want me to double down? I'll double down with no shakes. Could you imagine people thought that way? That they did more not out of desperation, but out of preparation? That's the line of the day. Double down out of preparation, so you don't have to double down out of desperation. Baruch Hanei Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Chananya